There's not really a script. It's all happening at the moment and it's very organic, very raw. The whole idea is about diaries of actors, people who get to experience the city, the surroundings from a more poetic point of view. I give them a blank page, I give them the space to say their story. And when I used black and white and then a little of color, is it the black and white, the past, or is it the present? Is the color the past or the present? When she was saying about her love of the theater and of the stage, I was ready to cry.
Dobrodošli u još jednu epizodu Projektor podcasta u kome pričamo naširoko i nadugačko o filmovima, TV serijama i popularnim stvarima iz sveta filma. Pratite nas na našem YouTube kanalu, pratite nas na Spotify-u, postoji u formi audio verzije ovog podcasta, takođe pratite nas na Instagramu i gde god već da pratite, Facebook, LinkedIn i ostalo. Danas ćemo da pričamo sa grčkim rediteljem Georgeom Louridasom, čovekom koji se trenutno nalazi u Srbiji i radi jedan kratak film, jedan vrlo ovako emotivan film, tako da danas ćemo pričamo o tom filmu i o njegovom putu i šta sve radi u svetu filma. S obzirom da je čovek iz Grčke, pričat ćemo naravno na engleskom, tako da ovom prilikom se prebacujemo na engleski. Uživajte! Hi, George.
Hello, Dragomir.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, hvala.
Yeah, nema na čemu. So, welcome. We are here because our common friend, Slaviša Repac, put us together. And it's very interesting for me to have a foreign guest in this podcast. This is the first for this podcast. And I would like to talk about the movie that you're making and all the things that you do and this magnum opus of your work.
Yes, thank you so much. And Slaviša is a great person, a great actor. And I was very lucky to meet him also through our common friend Tiana Statkic, who is many things. I will refer to her later. And it's a big honor for me. Thank you for having me here. And you also have a great name. Like when I heard Dragomir, wow, man, it's a great name. I have a very common name. Like it's the most common in Greece.
Okay.
Yorgos,
okay.
But yeah, at least I have a name.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So the movie, what's the name of the movie? I actually forgot.
Yeah, it's not important. It's like a series of movies. It's not a serial, it's not a TV series, it's like just a series of movies. And now we are on the 8th, the Serbian movie is the 8th in the list, because it all started 4 months and a half ago in Ireland. It was my first trip and I kept on moving around Europe for the rest of time. And here we are in Serbia, Belgrade. I have to say, it's, if you ask me, my favorite destination until now. I love Belgrade.
Oh, really?
The energy, the vibe of people, I don't know, it's very close to my heart.
Yeah, nice. That's nice to hear. Well, people usually love Belgrade, but as a tourist, it's definitely okay. I don't know, I mean, you've been here for some time now. You can see it's not like a couple of days. It's like
I try to spend more time in a place. Like every place I go, I try to spend at least 2 weeks. But here also I will sit a little more. So because when I'm working, I don't have the time to really be around a lot. I'm just in filming locations, and then I lock myself in a house and edit for 4 or 5 days. So I would like to see some more of Belgrade. And the whole idea is about, let's say, diaries of actors. In fact, people who get to experience the city and the surroundings from a more poetic point of view, I would say. So what I do is I give them a blank page, I give them the space to say their story, and also dictate it in a way where all of this would make some kind of sense, because there's not really a script. It's all happening at the moment, and it's very organic, very raw. So we try to create some kind of mixture of emotions and feelings that I think it's a unique experience for every one of us.
Yeah, cool. I saw the movie. As you said, I am the first one that actually.
You're the first one in planet Earth. I can say, I can confirm that.
Okay.
Really
Nice.
out from first minute. And normally I use the titles just spontaneously. It's just like a working title. But for this one, I chose the title "The Cells Told Me," which in Serbian is translated to something. The cells, like the sea cells.
The shelves.
Yeah,
the
cells.
shelves told me. Okay.
Yeah,
the sea shelves. Yeah. And that's how the movie actually starts.
It's how it started. Yeah. I got the Russian actress Irina to gather some cells from the sea, and that's how my first idea came up. Like she had a very nice communication with the cells, so I thought it's nice to have this as a title, like getting a little further the subject of the movie.
Yeah, nice. And I also like the contrast of the nature, the river, the trees and stuff like that. And then when you turn around the camera, you see the tall buildings and you realize you're actually in a city. And it was really nice.
Yeah. But I would like you to tell me what got you like more into the film. What got you more into?
Yeah. Okay. So my perspective, I'm really bad with poetry. I never understood poetry. The only extent of poetry that I can understand is music and hip hop and the rock and roll. So I never understood poetry. I never read poetry. So it's hard for me to connect on that level. What I understand, I can see that this is a poetic journey that shows random people in random locations. In this particular case, in Belgrade, you can see the cityscapes. You can see, you can feel a bit of pulse of Belgrade, and you can see that these people experience some unique things on their own. I don't want to go into too much detail, not to spoil or whatever, but for example, I really liked the drama class, which was pretty. I didn't expect that. I was like, okay, what's this? And then it gave a bit of documentary vibe to the film, which was like, okay, I never been to a acting class. So I was like, okay, so this is one portion of that work, how it's being done. So it was like pretty interesting. I really liked it. There's also some kind of love story in the film where we can see also Slaviša. And it was. I watched it before lunch on my own, sitting in the living room at my home, with headphones on my head, and nobody bothered me for 50 minutes. I was alone, cool, and I didn't expect anything. I didn't know what I'm gonna see. I was like, okay, just let go and enjoy whatever comes. And it was warm. It was warm for me. It gave me some warm feelings about because the way it was, the way people speak in the movie, and the way that black and white and then the color, and it was like a super calming experience. Really, it was
did it brought in the table any experiences from you maybe that you could relate to or remember something of your own?
Yeah. The first scene, for example, that the girl that's playing with seashells, I didn't connect with the seashells themselves, but that took me back to my child years, when I used to pick through mud, find rocks and iron toys and strangely shaped, pieces of trees and stuff like that. And because back in my time, we didn't have internet, we didn't have, we had one TV channel, for example, and stuff like that. So we were playing outside all the time. And when you are left alone, when there's none of your friends, you don't have what to do. Then you explore, and then you pick through dirt and find stuff. So that brought me back in that first scene. I was like, okay, I don't connect with the seashells per se, but
no, it's a
I
complete new
understand
experience.
that I understand what she's doing there.
It's
And
great.
like,
It's great. That's the point.
A bit of a nostalgic feeling came over me at that
The
point.
point was for the White Diaries to bring a feeling of nostalgia to the viewer and, of course, to the actor, because they have to deliver personal things. There we had Irina Saronovas is a very nice young actress. I was very blessed to have her, because really I love when people just want to express, just want to share something, and she had also some of her own words inside, because I like when people use their own ideas, their own diaries. And when she was saying about her love of the theater and of the stage, her voice also almost broken. I was ready to cry. I mean, I'm getting very emotional when I see the actor giving something from their heart. And when she told me this, I was blown up inside, and people use their own poetry. Tiana is a great poet. She has many poetry in the film, I think like 5 or 6 pieces. Slaviša also has 3 pieces of himself inside, mostly focused around relationships, but very deep stuff. And I was very honored, to have these people share with me some of their personal things. Lika also is the teacher of the theater group, and she plays a little bit, a group of Russian actors, and she's from Ukraine, so it's very cool. She's doing lessons to Russian people. This is something very unique. I think that only in places like Serbia could happen. Amazing. Yeah. And we also have Margarita. She's a friend of Irina, and we had actually a little glimpse in their lives, where we see her doing this ice skating, and her friend admires her. It's intimate moments that I try to bring out. It's like a collage of different things, of emotions that people experience, and suddenly they meet, like in a theater class, and they have this confrontation. Maybe they don't know each other, but they're getting some shared experience. And I try to form it in the way that I see life. I see different episodes coming together and people having similar experiences. Like you said, like not the same experience, but something similar that brings to the table the same emotion. Because we communicate through emotions. It's not really the words, it's vibrations that bring out specific ideas, specific settings.
Yeah. For example, the love portion of the love story in the film. All of these things are short sequences, but of course I didn't relate directly to because there's no storytelling as such. There's no like the script that's being followed and developing characters and stuff like that. But it's just pure emotion conveyed through poetry and through images of two people. I didn't relate with the situation itself, but that took me back to some of my even past relationships, but that went bust or never even happened. And that was like nice. And the acting class gave me a feeling of vulnerability. Yeah, because being in my age, I still learn. I still try to learn as much as I can. And a couple of years ago, I've been in a class where I did nothing about. And you feel vulnerable because you don't know the things that you are supposed to do after you listen to the lecture, and you have to do it. And it was like it is liberating
You
to
just have
feel
to
that weight.
jump. Jump.
There's no thought behind it. You have to do it, or you don't. I mean, it's up to you. But actually, you're there to learn, so you might as well.
And that's how
what I felt there.
We do it with the actors as well. We have like sometimes 2 or 3 hours, and they even don't know each other. Like they have to play together, and they have to meet, and everything is happening all together. So in 2 hours, they have to bring out any emotion that is there. But it's also helping because when you know that time is limited, you have to bring out anything that's most important on the surface. And I love when this happens because people don't know each other, they don't know what's the exact relation, but they have to find it little by little. And then for me, it's not important if there is any relationship existing. It's not important if they're lovers, friends, or whatever. It's important to convey the essence of what these people feel. They are vulnerable. They want to be by themselves. They want to have someone. They want all of these things together, but they don't know. And then also this playing of black and white and color. I didn't intend to do it, but I just came to my mind. And if you see it a little bit, because I also don't know what I'm doing, I do it spontaneously. It's just going with the flow. You realize it's much better than thinking. And when I used black and white and then a little of color, you can't. It's up to you to select. Is it the black and white, the past, or is it the present? Is the color the past or the present? Because sometimes when we see the past, we see it in a more beautiful and light way, like, oh, this was so nice. Maybe it wasn't, but you make this idea, oh, it's so colorful back then. But the now, sometimes it's black and white. So is it about a relationship that ended, or is it about a relationship that is starting, or is it about a relationship that ended and now it's starting again, or revisiting the past in a different way? So all of these questions are good. I would like everybody to interpret in their own way, and that's why I'm trying to make something that has a wider perspective, a wider explanation level, and not really force you to, as a viewer, to see the things in a specific way. So for me, it's also really open to interpretations, and anybody can select where they want to view it from.
Yeah. Really nice. So your plan for this is to the premiere is tomorrow, if I understood correctly.
We have a premiere as planned in Serbia. I'm really glad to present here a local movie with local actors, and it's gonna be unique. And as I said before, I love that already people like you, after the screenings, they share personal stories, and for me this is most important and nice thing, because as filmmakers, even if one person in the room feels something from what we do, the job is done. The job is perfect, even if one person really felt something, because it's not happening easily. I mean, people are living fast. They don't have time for emotions, and we have this privilege to even bring out and convey some emotions. So for me, it's a privilege, but it's something that I selected to do, because in the end we say this phrase that you are the creator of the story that you want to say tomorrow or today to the people. Like, so you create your story, and this is the story that you're gonna say when people ask you, well, how are you doing, or how's your life? So then you have your story, and I wanted to create also my own story, that through these movies you also of course see many parts of me in different ways.
Nice. For myself, I don't watch too many art house movies. I just don't have time to to look for them, to find them, because going to a theater,
they're not easily found.
Yeah, they're not. So, and they usually hit and miss also. But my perspective always for the film was there's no movie that's a waste of time. At least you will learn not to do if you want to go in the direction of filmmaking, and you can also see the way people approach the craft on their own. So I believe every movie should be watched, and some movies will, or short films will give you some feeling, as I did with yours. And so that being said, that I don't have much viewing experience of Arthouse. I do watch them, but not that much. Your film, the one that I just saw, was really reminded me of the movie I saw last year, The Perfect Days. I don't know if you watched it.
Yeah, by
Wim Wenders.
By Wim Wenders, yeah, in Japan, yeah.
The guy that cleans toilets in
great
in
movie,
Tokyo.
great film. Yeah.
I watched it like 3 times in a couple of days. I didn't expect anything out of it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna see, because I was doing like episode of this podcast for Oscar, so I was like, okay, let's see the movies and then talk about them. And I was blown away with that movie.
They had a great sequence. I think the greatest sequence of this film that I remember is the sequence of the dreams. Yeah. And I was amazed by how simple and with very, very like simple technique he presented the dreams in the very exact way as they are, you know. And it's so beautiful. I mean, the protagonist was a really good choice, because in the end,
he's like great
you know,
actor,
you can have great cinematography, you can have great story, but the actor is the actual tool, you know, like the actor. If you have a good actor, it's gonna be good. If you have a bad actor, I mean, there's no bad actor. Is just if you have someone who cannot, let's say, for any reason, deliver the emotions, because there's not good or bad, it's just emotions. If they deliver, you can have a bad photography, but still you have a very nice feeling. Because as directors, I mean, maybe the biggest part of the job is to manage somehow to select the right people, but also bring out the emotion they have.
To direct them, basically.
Framing is one part of it. Is cool. You can have a good frame, but the framing is not the most important. Framing is important. It's just part of the thing, but most important is how will I be able to bring out what they have, because actors are very vulnerable creatures also, and they're very sometimes can seem very crazy to say, but they have very low self-esteem, you know, sometimes, and they're like kids. They're very vulnerable, and you have to bring out the emotion. It's really very intimate process, and sometimes very painful for me, because you have to caress them, you know, you have to be close to them, and it's very intense. But I love it. I love this whole procedure of finding the people, exploring their ways, and just me also, I'm directed by them. I'm not just the director, I'm directed by them.
Yep.
Yeah, so the role is really blurry. Sometimes I'm just acting with them, and some other times, of course, I'm guiding them a little bit. So yeah, the whole idea of this project was not just the films. It was more about the people, and the final intention is to create an exhibition, an art exhibition, in fact, which will tour around Europe and maybe other countries next winter. So I decided to move a little more towards the artistic environment, because I think these films are not the ones that you will see. I don't think their places are close to the films of the market, let's say, if there's any market. But there are more pieces that can be also explored in a wider sense of an art exhibition. And that's what I'm intended to do. I'm intended to make an art installation with the films and with the actors So it's going to be a different storytelling of the same stories in its city, and this is something that also fascinates me, to get to see how this thing is going to be transformed into something else with the contribution of maybe more artists. And because a film is very limited, for me, format. It's nice, but you feel sometimes you didn't say everything, you didn't follow all the paths. So it's very fascinating for me to explore more in the sense of, as I said before, wider artistic viewing point that is not so locked in the format of a film. And in the end of the day, I feel more like just a storyteller, not so much of a director. So storytelling, as you know, has many ways and paths and many forms that you can explore, and yeah.
Nice. So basically you created how many movies in this series?
Until now there are 8, and I think in the end we will finish with the magical number of 10, I think, maybe. So yeah, it's like 10 pieces, but these pieces will be also divided with presenting the people behind the stories. It's gonna be art pieces, it's gonna be live presentation, maybe installations. It's gonna be something huge. I will try to do it because this is my initial goal. But doing this whole trip, got my eyes more open, and I got more ideas, because on the road you discover some things, and that's why I didn't like to have very specific ideas until I really get into the places. And yeah, it's more fascinating, and it's something for me that I cherish very much, meeting people like you, meeting people like any person I met in the journey. Yeah.
But for me, for example, what I would like also to see, I would like to see a movie or a vlog or whatever of you doing this trip and making these movies and meeting these people, because I think that's the essence of the white papers.
Well, yeah, I invite any cinematographer who would like to make a documentary of this. Of course, feel free to do it. I didn't have any people with me, so I really had only myself and the equipment.
But post festum, after you finish everything, maybe I don't know. It just seems like a super interesting.
I give open invitation to anybody that they want. We will have the tour in the winter. Probably we will have more visits around places for the thing. So feel free to contact me, and feel free to film me if you want.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Would be interesting. Yeah. I'm planning also to maybe write a book about it, because many people gave me this idea about emotions I got in this trip. It's many things, because when you go with the flow, as philosopher Heraclitus said, maybe you know Heraclitus, he was pre-Socratic philosopher, and he said 2 very nice things. First thing, of course, everything is flowing, so there's no real stability, there's no real point, and you never enter the same river twice. You're not the same person, and it's not the same river. So these 2 things I tried to follow in this project. Yeah,
that's really nice. Yeah, but in the end, which cities did you visit thus far? So the first
Well,
one
yeah.
was Dublin.
We visited, also rural areas of the places. Of course, it's the capital, but also in Belgrade we did some filming outside in Sabac, in some village. I visited Dublin. I visited Lisbon and Faro in Portugal, Berlin in Germany, in Poland, some cities like Gdansk, Warsaw, in Italy, Rome, Naples, Milano, in Slovenia was very nice, Ljubljana, magical destination. Maybe I forget some things, but it was like 7-8 destinations, and all of them were just selected by chance. Like I didn't have any idea. I just met the actors and I said, okay, let's go to this place. So the whole procedure was really, as I said, flowing. That was the initial idea.
Yeah, nice. So, but you also didn't go there for like a weekend or a couple of days, but you actually stayed 2 weeks or more.
I stayed, so I got the feeling of the place, I got the energy of the place, and I was trying to speak to the city, okay, please show me whatever you want to show also, because the city is also playing in a way. It's like the actors are playing, but the city reveals to me some things. So we have only limited time, but again, it's up to the city to show me whatever they want to show me.
And I like that production schedule to say that you have your 2 weeks for you to create a short film, and that's really nice because you don't waste too much time on writing or directing or finding on pre-production and stuff like that. You go, you meet the people and let them tell their stories, and you will just be there as a vessel to say this. But it's really nice.
The procedure is like we have 5 or 6 days to meet and film, then I have 5 days, let's say, to edit, and then the final goal is the projection, the presentation that has to happen in the place. So I get a real reaction from the people, what they liked, how they liked it, and of course it's very fast, it's difficult, but doing it that way you stay more connected with the piece, because of course the way we do movies is more, you get more time for development, more time for viewing the thing, post-production can get a lot of time. This is the normal procedure, but in this kind of project, this kind of procedure is very slow. So you need to go fast, and you need to keep the energy going, and I guess this period of 14 days was a good choice. It's enough, a little quick, but enough to deliver. And the goal was to have, as I said, like 10 films in a little less than 5 months. So this was my marathon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will you be able to deliver on that schedule?
Yeah,
you're close to the end.
Yeah. I didn't believe that I would come to the end. In the end, if there is any end. But I'm glad I reached to this point. I didn't expect to be here in Belgrade even. Yeah.
So when you do the exhibition and all that touring with the exhibition, do you have any plans after that at this point, or you're just leaving it to come to you?
Well, you always plan, but of course nothing goes according to plan. Important is to plan, but of course no plan will go according to plan. That's also my main mentality in filming. Yep. They say to me, oh, it's raining, let's use the rain. Oh, the weather is bad, let's use the weather. So, because everything is flowing, The idea is to have the exhibition as a starting point. Of course, it's a project for years 2025, 2026. But then I don't know. I mean, could be nice to also maybe film outside of Europe. I have never been outside of Europe. I have some places in mind that maybe could be interesting to communicate with people there. But most of all, I'm focusing now to see how this thing can be transformed into something else, and how people, especially people, will react, because the exhibition is gonna be interactive. I want the people who will go to the exhibition to also write their own stories. So it's not gonna be an exhibition that you go and just look. You're gonna be part,
a workshop basically,
of the thing. Yeah. I want everybody to be part of this thing, so that it gets more and more interesting, more and more open, and you can be a part of this world. This thing just came in my mind, got its own entity, and it's like, you know, you have your piece is like a kid, but you let it grow by itself, and I don't give it much of advice. I know it's there, and I know it's something that gave me much happiness. I think this project was probably my best idea until now, and I'm happy it came to life. It came to life, and now it's just moving.
Yeah, well, now that you talk about it, and the way you shoot a couple of films, you create the exhibition about it, you engage people to join the experience, and then after that will be one I don't know, piece all together.
Yeah, one cornerstone. Yeah.
But then, as you said, you never ventured out Europe. Maybe you can do this for each of the continents or whatever. I mean,
and it's
I'm just
crazy.
Going megalomaniacal
it's
now.
It's crazy that already some people found me, and already some people from some places proposed me to have some kind of exhibition there. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I mean, it's already moving somehow, because I don't have the means, I don't have any kind of funding for this. I'm just doing it myself, so I have no idea what will be waiting in the corner. But the best part is I have no expectations. I said before, it's like the relation to a good parent, let's say, with the kid. You let the kid grow, you're doing the best you can, but most importantly, don't have any expectations from the kid. Let it grow, let it have its own path, let it have its impact in the planet, in the people, but best is not to expect anything. You just put your
child
heart.
Is not you, and it will never
exactly.
be. It probably be the opposite.
Exactly.
Of you, and it's a completely different.
Because it's
human
never
being.
every filmmaker knows that the film is never exactly what you had in mind. But this is the great part. This is the nice part, that if everything was according to plan, I mean, you go outside and everything can happen to you in your life. This is the fascinating part. It's not like everything is exactly as it should be, and people normally say, this is not going as I want, because you have expectations. If you don't have expectations, everything goes as you want, because you can take everything and you can use everything. Everything is fine. So some things you discover through life. I mean, now I am close to 38, so I'm in beginning of second youth or finishing the first youth. I don't know, something like this.
Yeah,
so I think it's the best age, really. 40s are the best age. You are wise enough, not very wise, but also willing to discover again. We had this talk with Slavisha. He told me, because we are similar to generations, and he told me I'm discovering again. stuff. And this is the great way. You keep the child inside, the curiosity, wanting to find again, but also you are more wise. You're not... And then, of course, you have limited years until getting older, then you get dementia, you forget everything, and you're like, I don't remember anything. Like, this is the insanity of life.
Yeah. But yeah, we need to use it the best way we can, at least as we think should be done at the moment. Yeah.
I had a great project with my grandmother. She was 89 at that point, and I mean, we all knew that she's gonna have limited time left. We didn't know how much, so I decided to do a project with her. She was drawing, I got her drawing some stuff, and it's amazing how many things jump out of her unconsciousness or any kind of conscious level, and she had them there. They were jumping in the paper, and after some years, you know, she was getting further from her memories. She couldn't relate so much. She was watching the stuff and she was like, what is this? Did I do that? So this kind of experience also, I was talking before about losing your memory, teaches me a lot, like how some things are functioning, and we get very much focused on the frame, like painting on the frame, but the frame is not so important. Importance is also what's happening out of the frame. The frame is there, but my grandmother in this process taught me that sometimes it's not important to fill the frame. She was selecting corners, she was selecting other pieces. She didn't care to fill the frame that an artist should care for, like, okay, let's fill the frame. She was playing with corners, or after she was painting her brush also, didn't care about the frame at all. And this experience I bring here because it teaches me that the frame is not the only important thing. I was focusing for her on the frame. Hey, grandma, just do that. And she was focusing on the brush. She was focusing on her hand. She was focusing anywhere. And it's more enjoyable that way.
Yep.
It's more enjoyable. We focus a lot on the work, but we don't focus in the process of the work.
Yeah, nice. But the process is actually what liberates. Yeah.
And what matters more to me, and these moments, for example, in my grandma that I have now in paintings in my house, of course the painting has elements of her that I couldn't find if I didn't do this project with her. But also it's the process that I remember and I cherish, that we got to find some deeper things about her, as you do with conversations, because I had a very nice relation to my grandfather as well. And it's this exact process that if you are open enough and you don't think about yourself, but you're focusing there, I rediscovered also her in her 90s. I rediscovered my grandmother in her 90s. So that's something for everybody to consider.
Yeah, it's a great exercise because there's a limited time left for all of us, and I mean, did she ever used to draw before? This is like random for her.
No. She was doing some things that you
knitting.
Do with knitting. Yes,
yeah.
Knitting paintings, but drawing no. And so she didn't have any self-confidence in this, but the fact that she didn't care a lot about it, because when you are old enough, you don't care so much about it. And like I said before, having no expectations. Will it be good? Will it be bad? Who cares? Yeah. So having no expectations, she just played around, creating things from her brain. And this is for me how I want to do art. Once Theo Angelopoulos, also maybe the most famous filmmaker until now of Greece, he said, I want to make every movie as it is my first one. Like getting every movie as is my first experience in filming. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I try to jump in every film as if I know nothing of filming or nothing of course you have your practice, you have many hours of practice, it's there organically, but if you start thinking that you know something, then you lose parts of the experience. But if you just jump at it like a kid with the camera, it's better, I think.
Yeah. And when you're talking about those unplanned experiences, because when you have a plan and the plan goes to shit, then you are left with your own way to manage. That happened to me. We were doing a short, it's not short film, but a music video for my friend's band. And we arranged I was like a producer, director, writer, and I had a bunch of friends to film that, and the guys from the band, they were also in the movie, in the video. But the video is never shows the band as the band. It was like storytelling video that we had some idea about young skaters riding skateboards, and there's a bully that takes their skateboards and stuff like that, and then they go into fist fight and shit gets serious down the road. But it starts pretty, easily. It's like kids playing, but then those are not kids at the end. But
I should say you're invited also to the film festival we have in Agrinio, the city I'm living now. We have a film festival in the summer, and please feel free to send your films and
why not?
communicate because it's all about the community, and it's all about films also that cannot be easily discovered through normal ways of the industry. So it's great to have a way also to help people present their voice, your unique artistic voice, and the things that you want to share. And this can only happen between people who already know how difficult and how hard it is to be inside/outside of the system.
The process, yeah.
Because of course we are all inside, but we were talking before about video games and how these people are doing a great job, and I really understand. It's a decision. Some people think it's harsh, but it's the only decision you can make when you love the process of making a video game, the process of making your short film, your film. It's the process, and it's beautiful. You can't just focus a lot only in logistics or only in if I have the means to do it. Of course, you never have the means to do it, but you just dive into it because now it's the moment. Now it's the moment. There's no perfect moment. You're gathering the money and then something else happens. It's never the perfect moment. When you have it there, I don't like to put my ideas in the shelf and just find them after years. I prefer when I have the idea, I want to bring it. And that's the perfect thing. If you can do it, just do it, yeah.
Yeah. But that improvisation of managing the current situation was like, for me on the film set, on this zero budget production of short video and a short movie that I did. It was like, for example, for the music video, we had a friend who's like MMA fighter. He was supposed to play that bad guy because the bad guy is like the main thing, and at the last moment he had to postpone, and we were like just chasing the yellow hour, and we were like, okay, we need like to find an actor to play the badass in like 20 minutes. And one of the friends called up a friend and was like, what you doing? Are you free? Yeah, can you come here in 20 minutes? I can be there in 10. I'm on a motorcycle. Great. And it proved to be a buff guy with all dressed in black with a ponytail and looking like badass.
Perfect guy. And
he was actually perfect.
He was there.
And I mean, you cannot plan that. for example, the short film that I did, we had it was like a remake of Pulp Fiction, Tarantino's Pulp Fiction, for a festival, and you had to do it in 60 seconds. So my idea was to tell the story of Pulp Fiction in 60 seconds, but ordered chronologically. So the first location was my friend's basement. He lives in a huge house, and he has this basement full of tools and stuff like that. It was like perfect scene for the Butch scene and Marcellus Wallace in the basement, yeah. And it was like that. Yeah, that will be the place. And of course, like 1 hour before shooting, he was like, "I cannot do. I had the fight with my parents. Not gonna go." And what do? It's like the first filming hour of the process, and I was like, okay, let me go downstairs in my building to see how the basement looks like. I found a spare room which was full of like the dirty, couches and chairs, and I mean it looks like shit. Perfect. So we filmed there and went on further. So I mean, you cannot plan this.
Yeah, it's organic process.
I mean, because it's on a zero budget, and you cannot, it's like.
And also, it's organic process. You have to. This process teaches you how to accept everything that happens. That's why I say, filmmaking or acting is in fact learning how to live in the best way. It's life. It's life.
Yeah.
You go out in life and you think you have things planned because you have some money. Doesn't go that way. And also what people are crazy about today is security. You can have as much money as you want, but security is not possible. Even for the richer of people, it's not possible. Nothing is certain. We like as beings to have a point where we think things are kind of stabilized, but nothing is stabilized, in fact. We're all moving, and the best thing, as they say in any kind of art, martial art, or is go by the flow of the movement. Don't try to
counteract
go.
it.
Yes, try to get everything. And I mean, I remember a phrase by Jackie Chan. Like, he used anything in his films, and they asked him, "How do you do it?" He said, "I'm using everything I find on set." Like, he does not prepare everything. He's like, if something is here, I'm gonna use it. And that's the way he was playing. Also, I think people who were into this kind of impro, but not only impro comedy, like Chaplin, he was doing the same. They were using the stuff that was around, and they knew how to go with the flow and play with it. That's great acting. That's great acting, because you can't plan everything. Of course, there's choreography, there's some planning. Certainly,
of course,
Jackie Chan is a choreographer above all, but he can use everything in the set. He doesn't care. And of course, it's sometimes one take. You can't redo the same thing and be... Yeah. You just have the
Jackie
cameras.
Chan is like he's insane level of.
Yeah, you just have the cameras rolling, and then let's do anything.
Whatever comes up. Yeah, insane. Yeah, that guy is. I also love the Hong Kong action movies.
Wow.
They did like and South Korean movies.
Yeah.
The
They got really fast, really developed. Yeah.
It's insane. The Hong Kong movies in the 80s, that was like insane, and now today, like the past 10-15 years of South Korean movies, really awesome. I mean,
No, they invest a lot of money, and they produce really high quality material on all sides. Like they have a focus, I think, in, let's say, more of pop culture and stuff, but also they have Arthouse industry that's really growing. And it's important for me, for a country, to keep parts of their own understanding of films, and not really try to be one with this any kind of market that today is even asking people in pitches, let's say, to include things that are kind of let's say, helping the market to be more understandable for the people who consume this material, make it a TV or your phone, which is more popular nowadays. But you have to stick with your own ideas and your own guns. I mean, you can hear an album by the great band, forget the name now, any band, and you hear they have an intro of 5 minutes music before they go to the piece. And would any kind of producer approve that?
Allow that, yeah.
Any kind of producer would go, this is crazy, why are you using 5 or 6 minutes, Pink Floyd, 5 or 6 minutes of introduction for the piece. But someone from the band, I guess, knew that this is gonna work. No, this is gonna work. But
maybe they didn't even know it will work, but they just felt that way to create that
sometimes
song.
You just feel that way. Sometimes maybe everybody feels it's wrong, but you feel that way. And no producer or company could know that. They just had to follow at some point. There was a crazy guy who was following someone and thought, yeah, let's support the guy. And then boom, it just worked. But
I don't know if you listen to the band Tool.
Tool?
Yeah,
Nope.
so it's like progressive rock.
Okay,
metal,
yeah, I like this
progressive
stuff.
metal, something like
Yeah.
And they're like, they have the songs like 13 minutes, 9 minutes, and they have these long, prolonged intros and outros, and it's they're super unique band, and it's just the way they do it, and they don't abide by any rules.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't have
else.
to make sense. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. But the most important thing is the feeling. If you feel that the feeling is delivered and should be delivered in that particular way, make it music, make it poetry, make it a film which combines the two. It's perfect, because in fact in art you can do the same thing billions of times and still having kind of the same result. So it's not something that you have to reflect a lot on. Just make it. The best painting is the unfinished painting, said Munch. Like, unfinished painting is the best painting. So leave it there and make it speak. If the painting is speaking back, maybe it will speak to some people, if not all the people. And that's why I admire even things I don't understand, because they speak some way. Maybe you don't understand, but they speak. So maybe you don't know the language yet.
But no art is ever done. No art is ever perfect. You're just on the whim of the artist to say it's enough. And that's when the piece is done. And it's probably not the perfect, not the idea they had, for example, at the beginning, or whether
there's no perfection. I think this whole perfection thing is something from the society, like from the things that teach you. And I mean, I'm also a perfectionist, but being perfect means, okay, some details maybe, but it's good not to be crazy about it. It's good not be, because the details means that you take care of your viewer, you care about them, you don't want them to have bad quality. But the real thing lies into the essence, the feeling of the piece. And when you get it a lot polished, it's like, let's say, you can have a woman and she's so beautiful, she puts all of this makeup, and it's so great, so nice to have the makeup and all the details made. But when you look at this beautiful woman, even without makeup, she's still even more beautiful than having the makeup. So makeup is nice, everything is nice, the colors are nice, but even when you have this person lighting up without anything, this is the essence and the feeling that you get from the person, from the eyes, from the... I think it's a nice example coming to art, because for me, especially women are a work of art, and that's why I'm using them a little more than men in the films, because I don't know, they possess something more mysterious, something more provocative. Having like beautiful people internally and shining externally is I find them beautiful whatever they get. Like they can get makeup or not, they can get clothes this way or that way, but they have this gleaming, thing in the eyes. So it's gonna be beautiful anyway. I mean, it's not so important to have this thing or that thing or that thing.
Absolutely, I agree. Yeah, the no makeup thing is like,
and it's a trend now. I think they say to the photos make less makeup or less fixing in the photo. It's becoming a trend because people are bored of the artificial, I think.
Yeah, the overproduced stuff. For example, for YouTube content, there's been a shift in the trend where the highly produced videos on YouTube, and I don't speak about like movie stuff but just regular videos. The overproduced ones are losing ground to the more realistically shot vlog style videos of people just speaking to the camera with poor lighting, recording on a phone or basic video camera, or it's like more that quality of being true, not posing, overproducing stuff just to smear your eyes with some content, but actually losing any production quality and just focusing on the essence of the thing that you want to convey to the public. So that trend of highly produced video is slowly shifting to the actually real life looking videos. It's an interesting trend, and I find your film somewhere in between there, and that's what I liked about it. It's not overly produced. It's not like high, big budget production. It's just people who have something to share, and you, as a director, allowing them to do so.
Yeah, I'm not doing it really aware of what I'm doing, but I always in my life I liked being. I mean, what is freedom? Being free in a way of having many options. So, as kids, they would ask you, what do you want to do? Or what do you say about it? And you had to have an answer. Meaning you should know. But do we know? Like, can we know? And having one option creates this duality, like either that or when you can have many options and you can have A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I. So is in fact again a teaching from the society that doesn't really work. This thing is best to create momentum for opening more possibilities. Always survival is dependent on more possibilities, not keeping one possibility, and if that doesn't work then everything goes to hell. So filming for me is very connected to the way you live life. You want to have many options, you want to be free of options, and I try to give many options to the actors, many options of reacting, many options of. And as they say, freedom can be chaotic. Some people can be good with it, some people are wanting more guidance. But it's also, you have to go with everyone's personality, with everyone's different characteristics, and there is no general rule on how to approach any kid or any person at school. And they tried to teach us in a very generic, specific way, not focusing in the personalities. That's why this might explain many things about why people later on, they actually don't know what they are doing. So they get a little lost after some point. And this is logical, it's normal, but you have to go back and see where they got you in these dualities and they just left you out of options, thinking that you are out of options.
So regarding the film's premiere, we are now recording this on Sunday evening. The premiere will happen on Monday, which is 10th of March, and this podcast will probably go out on 12th of March. People watching this, sorry guys, the premiere happened already. But I hope I try to be there.
It's gonna be it's gonna be the first time. I'm really enthusiastic to present here in beautiful Belgrade, Serbia, the film. And I have to say, if someone wants to see it online or want to find me online, this is happening also as a personal crowdfunding, because I don't really, as I said, have a founding for this. So I'm giving out the links and a group with people who support the project, the White Diaries. And they can find me in Instagram with my name, George Louridas, or in YouTube. I have most of my films in playlists. And they can find me basically in every platform I exist.
I will also put all the links in the description of this episode, so people can click.
As a person involved in these things, we have to be everywhere, so I have my name everywhere. Very recently, I was also kind of hacked with a fake profile, so this got me famous. Like, when you have a profile that is hacked, then you're getting famous. So thank you for the person from Korea, I think, who tried to represent me. We got, with the help of friends, the profile down in less than 5 or 6 hours. But it's getting crazier these days with social media, of course, and the awakening of AI and that stuff. Waiting to see what will happen. I don't have a lawyer team to support me. I just have my supporters, my people. Thank you for being together with me in this journey. It wouldn't happen if people also here who supported me, like Tiana, was great support, and I will always feel blessed for the people I met who really wanted to bring this project in life. But we're keeping on. Please feel free to find me, send me anything. Some of the things are already out. And if you want to get more, you only have to, as I said, find me in social media and feel free to communicate with me.
Yeah, cool. And whenever you are in Belgrade, please
always
reach out.
You're always
or beers
welcome in Greece. Always. You have Greek roots. You told me before. Yeah. It's great. From Kastoria. Yeah. And feel free to visit us. We have a film festival in June. And of course, in any of my places, my hometown Kalamata is open for you as well, anytime.
Thank you very much.
It was great pleasure to have this studio here, like this great podcast and studio, and I wish you the best for the future, for the present, and you have this great name. I'm sure this is like one of the greatest names I ever heard of, like Dragomir. Man, you have a great name.
Yeah,
how is
thank
this?
You very much.
Is a video game name also? Like
most of my life I hated my names. To be honest, but I embraced it a couple of years ago. So I was like, okay, Dragomir, cool.
It's a great name, man. It's combination of a dragon with
peace.
Some kind
in Serbian means peace.
A peace, okay, yeah.
So dragon peace.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, man, I would love to have this name.
But, in actuality, the translation in Serbian, Dragomir, means Drago is something that's sweet, that's likable, and Mir means peaceful. So I'm nice and peaceful. Maybe, I don't know.
It was great, really, and it's great being here. I am sure I will be with you again in the future, and thank you very much for everyone watching this, and can't wait to have more contacts with you around there.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll see you on the premiere, and we'll probably have some beers or whatever.
And feel free to make a post-beer or post-wine analysis of the of the piece, would be lovely to see it.
Yeah, nice. Will do. Thank you very much. Thanks for
Thank you for
joining me on the
having me.
podcast. Yeah.